frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Q. And today, this guy, he needs no introduction. The Afro Man, the West Philly assassin,
I'm another Q that has fuzzy hair, so
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, FAQ.
Yeah,
I'm an amalgamation of both of you guys right now.
Yes, we got Questlove, Amir, man. This is fam here, man. What's up, bro? You good?
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm good.
No, we great. So we posted. Yeah. You can follow us on FAQ Podcast on Instagram and all socials. We posted about Stevie Wonder. Okay, we want to get right to it. We posted about Stevie Wonder, and Fuzzy said that Stevie Wonder FaceTimes.
He FaceTimes people.
Dog. And I
you responded.
Left a few comments in that thread, letting you guys know that, that's the lesson I learned this year as well. That Stevie Wonder is very familiar with the iPhone and how to use it effectively and accordingly. So, he let's see, this year alone, he's FaceTimed me twice during DJ gigs that I've done.
This randomly.
Quasi randomly. I wasn't expecting it. All throughout quarantine, I've been doing various things with DJ gigs or whatnot. So this is like early into it, March, April, May. So this is back when this was like the Wild West, and you didn't know what the new platform you were part of revolutionizing. But suddenly, slight preface, my girlfriend and his wife are really good friends. So I was DJing, and then she just came up behind like, Evie's on FaceTime. I was like, huh? And she just puts him on the phone. But the other comment that I left in on that thread was that Stevie Wonder and I also we went to the movies once.
Was it a double date? Or we did? What movie was it?
All right, so I'm gonna lay the premise for you. And then y'all can ask questions. And the premise is this is like a joke.
Okay.
This is Flea all right, so Questlove, Stevie Wonder, and Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers go to a graveyard
in Hollywood
to watch a movie.
In Hollywood.
Period. There you go. That's it. That's the joke. The joke. Questlove, Stevie Wonder, and Flea go to a graveyard to watch a movie. It's one of the things that no one, unless you live in LA and you know the event I'm talking about, like no one else. It's like I think it's the first time I'm publicly talking about it. But
bro, I always heard about the Hollywood Cemetery throwing like things at I want to go to a cemetery to watch the movie.
Every black person I know says that. No, I'm gonna tell you.
They say it's a vibe.
I'm telling you. What's weird is that I believe last season of Insecure.
Yes.
They
showed it.
They made sense of it, that everyone that I spoke to about it was like, oh, that's what y'all be doing. Cause just to say it off the top, like, wait a minute, y'all go to a cemetery and sit in the cemetery and watch movies. But they've been doing this. There's a Hollywood cemetery that all of, it's like where the luminaries of Hollywood yesteryear. So like Toto, the dog that played Toto is buried there, and I think some of the Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz.
God damn.
Random.
But also like random stuff like I think Johnny Ramone, like two of the Ramones are there. So it's like famous Hollywood people, but they're I'll say in total, the cemetery is about maybe like 20 acres, but 10 of those acres is just grassland. And so what they've been doing, I think for the last maybe 10 years, is they, you're familiar with the thing of like outdoor movie screenings, like in the park and all that stuff. So they do that. It's kind of like a big deal. So like I'll DJ. So like once a year, they'll let me curate a night, and they do like events like, the last episode of Breaking Bad, they had like the entire cast there doing Q&A, or like Pee-wee's Big Adventures. They'll have like the 30th anniversary. They'll do a Q&A with like, so it's like a big thing. So when John Singleton passed, I decided to get to curate once a year, like a movie, and also do a DJ gig there. So when John Singleton passed, I wanted to do Boys in the Hood. Oh. And so, yeah, I was just going there. And at the time, my girlfriend Grace was just like, all right, well, she just happened to tell Stevie's wife, and she's like, oh, I want to go. And then he got FOMO. I want to go too. So, well, did I just do that? Anyway.
Okay, man, we get it.
So
are
you explaining to Stevie Wonder, like, you're DJing, but you're there, and are you explaining like, no, Ricky is running down the driveway?
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, so when I was DJing in the beginning, like I DJ, the way the format is that the cemetery opens around like 4 or 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. So people come, they find their spots. It's like I'll say it's like at least 5,000 people. So it's like a big giant picnic area. So you get your food, your wine, whatever, like the food you brought in, your blanket, your pillows. And I DJ for about 3 hours. And then when it's dark, then they start the movie, or they talk to the director or somebody, like they'll start giving the history of the film, and then they'll start it. But no, when first I was shocked when Grace was like, Stevie's gonna come. And I was like, okay, so how is this going to happen? Like, should I let the people know that he might, some movie theaters come equipped with the headphones where they can explain to you. Like if you get a movie on iTunes now, they have blind options where they have a narrator say, the scarecrow gets off of the, and then like, They do that now. Like I would say that's the best way to actually learn how to do screenwriting, is to watch any film on iTunes with that option on, so you can learn. That's free game for anyone out there want to be a screenwriter. Yeah. Watch it with that option on. No, but he was like, he's like, man, I've seen Boys in the Hood like 7 times already.
He said he's seen Boys in the Hood. Oh my gosh. Oh my!
He's like, yeah. He's like, I was like, yo, you need the headphones and da 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 da. He said, nah, I know this by heart. I've seen this about 7 times already. So
that's amazing.
It was nothing to him.
That's wild, man.
Nah, he was cool. As a matter of fact, the coolest part of the thing was because it was Boys in the Hood. I was my DJ set was like. What I call my Jerry Curl set, like funk, post-disco funk from like 79 to about 83. Anyone who had a Jerry Curl that was making music then, that's what I was DJing.
That's the West Band, Steve Harrington.
Wait, how did you know?
I go to Era. What are you talking about?
I told you already? Oh, no. Well, that's the thing. When I think my second to last record was Just a Touch of Love.
Got to. That's Jerry Curl all day.
And as soon as I got there, I was like, everything cool? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, Just a Touch of Love, man. He's like, that's one of my favorites. And it's weird when you hear music gods like talk like normal shop about music they listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Prince was alive, he talked about like how big of a fan he was of like Roger Troutman. And then I found an old 1983 rehearsal, Purple Rain rehearsal, where they go into like More Bounce to the Ounce for like 20 minutes. So I'm always mind blown when music gods, like just like not regular music, like, you know, Steve Arrington's not a mere mortal. I mean, he's a guy within himself, but that was impressive to me. And he's like, yeah, man, I always loved that song. He's like, you know the guy that sings that? And I was like, Steve Arrington? He's like, yeah, you know him? I was like, yeah. He's like, you think you give me a number?
Wow.
I was like, right now? He's like, yeah. He's like, I've always been a fan of his, but never got a chance to tell him. So,
that's
you know,
great.
Wow.
Yeah, like Steve Arrington records for Stone's Throw now. That's like Dilla's old label. Peanut Butter Wolf runs that label. So
yeah,
I hit up Peanut Butter Wolf and got Steve Arrington's number, then hooked him up with Stevie just so they could talk for once. But
yeah, who's gonna deny that call?
Yeah, you're the connector.
Yeah, but yeah, Steve. To answer your question, Stevie's very familiar with the iPhone. But the thing was, you also mentioned that DJ Touchtone.
Touch is a legend.
I never knew to even look for a Touchtone account on Instagram.
Do you follow him now? You gotta follow him, right?
I am. This thing you did that, I was like, yo, Tone wow.
Yes.
Because I always wanted to know. He was one of the first cats I knew that had a Serato. Wow. And I happened to be at the radio station today and just saw him like, I didn't want to do that thing where it's like you want to look for the novelty sense of it, like to see how he operates. But like when he was doing his DJ thing, my part of the interview was done and I should have went home, but like I stayed behind for like 10 minutes just to see like how he navigates with it. So I like was in a room just watching him.
Yeah, no, Touch is a legend.
But yes, Tone has a hilarious Instagram account and
Q put me on. I was like, what? And what's the challenge he did, Q?
He did the date.
What'd you say? Robinson. Oh, the challenge.
Yeah, he did the Nate Robinson challenge when he was laying down. I was like,
when Nate Robinson got knocked out, I was like, oh, God.
I lost it, bro. I lost it.
There you go. I hate to say this. One of my favorite fake accounts to follow is it's Stevie Wonder.
Yo, hilarious.
That's my favorite account to follow on Instagram.
Oh, I got
because the caption is hilarious and
I got one.
It'll be a black picture. It'll be what? Oh, Q. It'll be a black picture with just XJSS.
Oh no, I got one.
Like the temptation, I feel to sometimes retweet it, but I can't do it because I know that they will kill the account. I actually started Stevie's first Instagram account when we did his birthday, like earlier this year. DJ Spinner, myself, Giles Peterson, DJ Tara. I'm forgetting else. Like 5 of us. I'm missing somebody. We did a 24-hour Stevie Wonder. D Nice did a 24-hour DJ set for Stevie Wonder's birthday.
Damn.
For his 70th, and I had to start his official Instagram account. So
that's dope.
Quest, let me ask you a question. Are you amazed that you're a guy from Philly, play drums, have a successful group, but you're in the room with some of your legends that you grew up listening to in your household? Like, I remember being at South by Southwest and we were backstage or on the side of the stage where Prince was performing out there one year.
You were there for that night with Tribe and Prince?
Yes.
Yo, that's the weirdest night of my life, yo, where that Sunday morning I was in bed and my manager calls me and says, hey, do you use Samsung television? And I was like, yeah. Well, why? What's up? And like whatever, like the new line. Oh, this television right there. So basically, it's like Samsung is having a gig at South by Southwest, and she said it all casual, like you'd be open up for Prince and a Tribe Called Quest, and how many TVs do you want? I was like, me. So instantly jumped out of bed, went to JFK, and went there. The weird thing is that Prince wound up doing this. Like, I've opened for Prince 4 times, and I've never ever participated, because Prince will then decide then and there that he's going to do an additional 2 hours.
Yep.
So that was my consolation prize. Like, we're sorry, your check's still good, but we'll give you some TVs for your trouble. I'm like, are you kidding? I just watched a reunited, and this is when Tribe wasn't even reunited. Like, they just, Prince wanted them to open. So this is like 2014. So I mean, all the time, I'll say that I'm world famous for my imposter syndrome stance. So that's the one thing my girlfriend's trying to get me out of. Like, no, you're peers with them now. Like, you're peers. Because even when Stevie calls, like, I don't want to. It's just weird to me. Like,
you still want to fan out a little bit, don't you?
I'm afraid that I will. Like, back in the day, I used to scare people because, like, I will fan out. Like, great example. Recently just started chopping up with Mariah Carey since her book came out. And I had so many technical questions about her craft that I told her, like, wait, we can't even get to the friendship portion of our chapter until I get you on Questlove Supreme and then nerd out on you. And then we could be, because I'll be that guy that's like a journalist. And, in the past, I freaked many artists or celebrity out. Like, you sure that is cool? Like,
you're like
a lot of questions.
You know a lot.
You're like the black narwhal for us on your Questlove Supreme.
Dude, man, that's I have so many questions to people. Like, but to answer your question, I it's hard to normalize people sometimes. So that's the one thing I'm working on. That
and Quest,
relax. Like, these are your friends.
Who would people be surprised that, I mean, because you are here now, right? Like, again, like, even you invited me to your birthday. I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Like, you guys are not just Philly guys, you guys are musical gods that have just come from Philadelphia. So who would be somebody that, they would be surprised that you listen to them? Like, who are some artists that you listen to that people may be like, yo, I ain't know Quest was on us like that?
I mean, well, that's the thing. Like, Mariah's a great example. Like, she was shocked. Like, she was approaching it like, I think a lot of people think that it's some sort of like a hierarchy of like snobbiness, and I wouldn't dare listen to Little Baby or something. Like, even when we choose artists for the Roots Picnic, SZA was shocked. Like, y'all want me? Huh? Like, and I often wonder, like, well, wait, what's the reputation of Roots? Like, why do people don't know that, we mess with it? Especially, like, being on the Tonight Show, you have to know everything. Organizing the Roots Picnic, you have to know everything. I mean, just in my general education as a DJ, as a curator of music, I have to know everything. So I don't have a that's a good song or that's a bad song chip in me. Like, I have to know everything to know what's effective and what's not effective. Now, I mean, what I listen to in my personal time is, like, that might be a little far out, but no, I definitely know and study everything.
I would be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I've had moments with Ashanti where she was like shocked that I'd know her material, or that, so that happens a lot. It happens a lot.
Yeah, I would be surprised if you knew Throat Baby. Like, if you were singing Throat Baby around the house, I would be very, surprised.
I'm not saying that I run around and listen to it, but definitely for now, especially on the Tonight Show, I'm still kind of there. You know, what do you know about this person? Like, you know, yay, nay, or that sort of thing. So
to the gauge.
Yeah, I still got to be in the game. So I'm not, you know, I got to be Quincy Jones now. You know, like he's wide open to everything and doesn't look down on anything. So I'm still playing that role right now.
Gotcha.
Great. Let me ask you a question. You said right now what do you listen to personally? It's a new year. What do you start your year listening?
You know what? I got crazy embarrassed, borderline outed. You know, like Spotify will let the public know what the algorithm is of everything that you listen to. And I forgot that. Like my thing was on public. And when I was looking at my year, you know, like when you listen to everything, you go through the top 10s or whatever that you was listening to. I've listened to more meditation, white noises and tones as regular music this year than anything. So
wow.
The only like real tangible music that made a dent in my playlist this year is there's a band called Salt. Their Salt is basically, I would say that they're the black version of like, I'm not saying they're the black version of Daft Punk as in they do that type of music. They're a soulful group. But they're comprised of 5 individuals that kept their identities hidden that are more famous for their solo careers. And this is like their, you know, kind of their Voltron move. So they've made like 5 secret records. One of them got outed. So I don't know if you remember who Kid's sister was.
Yep.
She was making noise in the early or in the late aughts, like 2006, 2007, 2008. She's one of the members. So it's basically 5 artists leaving their day jobs of the music they make to make really compelling, like, I mean, I feel like their album Black is the true Black Lives Matter album of the summer. Because, you know, like from now, starting like 2 years ago to now to like maybe 3 years from now, like everyone's sort of like under the hoop waiting for the rebound. Like, I'm gonna be the one to make the Black Lives Matter anthem. Like you can taste that everyone's trying to like cook up. Okay, this is the big one. But I'll always find that in history, those who make like effective anthems are the ones who don't try, you know, enforce that anthem. So yeah, I'll say that Salt is probably the newest actual music that just was the perfect timing. But you know, but for this year, man, I just been listening to podcasts and audiobooks and meditation tones, like just to stay sane. So
I'm like you in a real relationship. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, that's what
yes, exactly. This is all my girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, if it goes deeper, we would love to perform something at a ceremony. I'm not gonna put the pressure on you. If it goes deeper, me and Fuzz would like to perform just something at the ceremony.
You know what? I found I've been looking for kind of Black ritual sound bath people. Sort of like that rerun boom shalak lak boom thing.
Yeah.
Old reference. I knew you'd get that reference. Ask your parents, kids,
what's happening?
if you were born before 1990. Yeah, we just found Black people that do like African meditation rituals. So yes, I will let you know. No, for real, like Black people have to get into some sort of routine where they take time out for their mental health. Like it's 24 hours in a day, and we have to survive, hustle, struggle, and just to take time out for an hour a day. Like usually for Black people, that it used to be church, and that's a Sunday. You know what I mean? But it's like you now have to have a daily routine in which you just seriously sit in silence and focus on your goals. So
do you start off your day with meditation?
Yeah, I do. I start the first 2 hours. I like average people will do maybe a half hour. I do 2 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, you got to, because the thing is like when this first started in March,
yeah,
I was really going out of my mind, man. I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going to tour anymore. I don't know if we're going to do the Tonight Show, and you got a staff of 28 people to pay, and like we're running businesses.
Right.
And yeah, for like 7 weeks, man, I was just panicking out my head, like the world's coming to an end. Like I was like Chris Rock on the New Jack City bed, like that was me. And by May, I gotten it together. And really just started focusing on not losing my mind, and not, because my girlfriend told me, like, you can either choose to sit here and wallow in self-pity and start panicking and running for the hills, or just breathe deep and rise to the challenge. And that's what I decided to do. And so yeah, I do about 2 hours a day. And it's not, I know that Black people often have a sort of a skeptic, arm's length relationship with this kind of talk. Like anything that's not dealing with Christianity or religion, organized religion, I know that Black people often like. But really, meditation is just sitting in silence. Mm-hmm. And the only way I can explain it is, if you have a MacBook Pro or like a computer, mm-hmm. If you're on Safari and you have 97 windows open, I mean, chances are that the rainbow wheel is going to come up and slow it down. And your brain is Safari, and you got to close all 97 of those windows. So for me, that 97 windows was this movie I'm supposed to score, and do this music project, and then work on this film project, and then make sure my mom's bill's paid, and then make sure my mortgage is straight, and make sure my insurance is straight, and got to check on my studio. Like after 10 of those, you could go crazy, if you will. So sometimes you just got to sit in silence and just refresh. And that's all meditation is. It's just refreshing. That's all it is. So
are you using any apps? Are you using Headspace or the other? Oh
yeah, Calm is cool. Yeah. For people that are on the app space thing, I would say Calm is dope. My gateway drug was actually there's this guy named Dr. Joe Dispenza, and this was a guy who, when he was younger, he was training to be like a professional cyclist. Like he was sort of in the era of, see, I don't want to be politically correct. Old boy that got the scandal. One ball. Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
One ball. So he was training for that, and then he got paralyzed. His bike got hit by a truck, and he was unable to bike, and he's sort of just like laying in the hospital, about to give up. Like both his legs are not working. They might have to amputate them. And he just basically said, like, if I can get the use of my legs back, I will do whatever it takes to, like, I'll change my life around or whatever. And he pretty much willed himself back to, like it was one of those things where his doctors were like, okay, we don't get what's going on here. And again, I know, like, placebo syndrome and sort of mind mind training is new vocabulary to us, because even I was wondering, like, wait, you didn't get an operation, you didn't use a drug or anything, like you just by sheer will and sheer like faith, this is what got you back to that place. And I don't know, like his story is really compelling, and so that was sort of my gateway into the world of meditation. So yeah, I do that like 2 hours in the morning, and then an hour before I go to bed, I do the same thing. Hour before I go to bed, I do this exercise that actually Michael Jackson used to do. You're supposed to get a blank paper and just write down your 20, like your life goals, what you want to do, and like real talk, not like I want world peace and I want, health for da 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 da. Like you have to specifically write what you want to achieve, and you have to write it so that your brain registers, your subconscious, your brain knows that that's what you want to do. So basically, yeah, that's my ritual.
Wow.
You're not adding yoga? Are you adding yoga to this at all? Have you tried yoga?
Slightly adding yoga. Grace is hardcore with yoga. Me, not so much. So I'm just doing like basic stretching. But
I tried, man. My lady took me to a couple of yoga classes, man. It wasn't for me. It was too...
Well, she has real commitment. Like she wants me to, her routine is that she gets up at 5 a.m. and she meditates and does yoga, and her day's ready to start at 8. I'm still an artist, so, I kind of enjoy waking up at 11 a.m., that sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm not at 5 a.m. territory.
Have you added marijuana to this?
Yes, I have.
See?
Go ahead now, my brother. CBD all day, huh?
It sounded like, that's what I'm saying. It looked like he was going down that path. I just had to,
ask. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people were like shocked, like, Questlove smokes? Because I'm world famous for like not smoking or drinking. But yeah, it was never like, it was never moralistic reasons why like I wasn't big on drinking or smoking, mainly because like as timekeeper of the roots and doing 300 shows every night, I had to make sure I was in a clear head to be a meticulous timekeeper as a drummer. But 2020 I had a year off, so yeah.
Nice. Listen, man, that was frequently asked questions, man. Questlove, thank you for your time. I want to let you guys know what he did for us. He commented on a post that we put up. We text him. I'm like, he said, when you want to do it? I'm like, can you talk to us today? He's like, sure, let's do it. And then he asked, he's like, is that time okay? I'm like, yeah, you're Questlove. The time, if you would have said 1 a.m. So no,
man, we're still quarantining, even though I know like 2021 is like, everyone's thinking like this is a magic redo button. No, we're still in a pandemic. We're still inside. So we're doing our date night thing right now. I'm gonna attempt to watch, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna attempt to watch Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi for the first time tonight.
Wow. What?
Wow. Yeah, dog. Dude, man, me and science fiction aren't that close. And I do believe that it's really based on, I think with Afrofuturism and blacks really not being in the future, like it didn't capture my imagination the way that it caught the rest of America. Like, I was very slow to get on science fiction, but I'm with it now.
They gave us Billy D on one of them. Like, he came
in. Yeah, but even then, like I heard he sold brothers out.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he got Han Solo jacked up, man.
Yeah,
exactly. No, there's like I think a perfect gateway into that world once HBO had a series on with my friend Journey Smollett, Lovecraft Country.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. Right, and the thing is that once when I spoke to her about it, she explained to me that Lovecraft Country is based on H.P. Lovecraft, who's supposed to be like the father of all science fiction, like
Arthur,
nerd boys and like, you know, like fanboys and all those Comic-Con dudes. Like he's like their father. But the thing is that in a lot of his in his work, there's a lot of racial overtones that really weren't that cool for Black people. Like the idea of the boogeyman or the bad guy in most of his works and of his poems and his stories and his books were Black people. And so I think that was pretty much the deed sort of turned a lot of us off to horror, to science fiction and all those types of things, at least for me. But at least seeing it that way and then investigating like other Afrofuturist science fiction stuff like Octavia Butler and the music of Sun Ra and all those things. Now I'm starting to put my mind to, okay, like we are part of the future and those things. So I'm trying to play catch up for 50 years of ignoring science fiction.
Did you enjoy Watchmen?
Yes, I absolutely enjoyed Watchmen. I was late to it, and then it was when the creators of that show had said to me that one of the episodes was based on my personal story. I don't know if you guys know this. So there's a show on PBS called Finding Your Roots, ironically titled Finding Your Roots, with Dr. Skip Gates, Harvard professor. Skip Gates is the guy that had to break into his house, and then the police came and got him. And then Obama had to have, his first thing was like Beergate. Like if you remember in early 2009, Obama went to the White House and had to have Beergate with Skip Gates and the police officer that arrested him. Anyway, so Skip Gates has a show where he just, I mean, it's basically 23andMe for celebrities, where they find out your entire history. And they find deep stuff. Like LL found out that none of his family had to go through slavery in the United States. Like LL was part of that 1% of African Americans who came here and had no slavery whatsoever. My story was different because I guess you can say that my great-great-great-grandfather might have technically been the last slave. So the story is that when slavery was over, of course, white sharecroppers had to hire help. And you know, like America was built because 400 years of free labor. You don't have to pay someone to build, you know, your empire. Of course, you're going to make billions. So the second they had to start paying people, of course, they're complaining like, the crops are bad this year. We got to hire good help, yada, yada, yada. And they're in a tavern. Two sharecroppers are in a tavern, basically saying that, yo, man, like, we need slaves. We need free labor. And the captain overhears them and says, yo, I got a hookup. And they're like, well, you know, slavery was abolished like 40 years ago. I don't think that's going to happen because the British will just pull you over. It's not like slavery was morally wrong, but having slaves was like having cocaine on you in the car. Like this car, it's, you know, contraband, that sort of thing. And if the British catch you with contraband, you're going to go to jail. And this guy was like, nope, I got this. So basically what he does is he goes to the coast of Nigeria, over to Bente. And he goes to the king and it's like, he goes to the king's son and says, I need a hookup. What you got? And they're like, well, we got about 4,000 prisoners. We got 4,000 from the Civil War that we're in right now. You want them? He's like, no. My joint is, I can only hold about 400. And he's like, well, we got 4,000. So what do you want to do? And the captain says, well, okay, do this. Just give me all the kids. Give me the small ones, and we'll pack them in that way. So basically, they got anyone under the age of 14, gathered, chain them up. Of course, the kids are crying because they're being kidnapped. And he doesn't have that much manpower to keep them in line on the ship. So he has second thoughts. And he's like, wait a minute, whoa. Take 20 of them out and give me women. So at least the women can nurture and care for them. So they kidnap the 20 women. And they're crying, of course, because again, they're being kidnapped against their will. And at the last minute, he's like, give me your biggest guy to keep them all in line. Like, I need one big person to just handle them all. And they, you. And that person, 6'5", 50 years old, was my great-great-great-grandfather, Charles. His name was Charles Lewis. And so they got on the last slave ship, which was the Clotilda. The reason why I know this in detail is because throughout history, you will learn that everyone will use their version of social media. So this guy kept a journal of everything that happened. So once they get past the British colonies, of course, damn, they're about to pull me over. So he gets into the crux of Alabama, gets them off the boat, burns the boat, destroys the boat. And, they're like, wait, you got illegal cargo, don't you? And he's like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about. Of course, he got found out. And then he starts snitching. Well, they made me do it. And then they were like, no, he volunteered to do it. So this thing made the papers and went to court. So meanwhile, my great-great-great-grandfather's like, it's kind of like Amistad, like, well, okay, can we go back home? And they were like, no. And they're like, well, what do we do here? And they're like, I don't know, it's up to you. And then he's like, well, can we have the land that you brought us to? And they were like, you can't have it, but you could buy it from us. So basically what he did was he went to every freed Nigerian in Mobile, Alabama, collected $500 each and said, I'm going to start a place called Africa Town. Now this is like a lot of acres. It's like 3,000 acres. So basically he collected all the money, brought the land, and said, we're going to open up Africa Town. This is going to be like, we'll make it like our Africa. We'll have our religion, our culture, our way of life inside of this compound. And so he started Africa Town. So one of those episodes in The Watchmen is based on the Clotilda and kind of the genesis of Africa Town in Mobile, Alabama.
Wow.
And so yeah, I learned that on finding your roots. I'm sorry, I'm like giving you the
no, bro, you could hook us up. I want to be on finding your roots. Hook the dude, yeah, get us on three-way or something. That'd be.
Yeah, I mean, no, Skip Gates is the man. I want to know. I think they're doing another season. Like right now, they've done every notable Black person.
Yeah, I saw Nas. Nas was on there.
Nas did it. Did it? Yeah. So yeah, one year, like the thing was when they started doing white people, it became problematic.
I bet.
I think the Ben Affleck episode was very problematic because like he came from the lineage of like some of the worst slave owners ever. So he's trying to expound his episode and try to get them to cancel this, that sort of thing. So
damn.
Yeah, wow. It's deep, man. It's heavy.
Listen, we gotta do this in person. We have to get some COVID tests, do this in person. We'd love to talk to you for
yes, sir.
In depth, because we have way more questions, bro. Like way more.
Yeah, like I remember I surprised Quest. I called Quest and said, "Hey, man,
dude, that was the greatest day of my life." Yo, this guy, he calls me up. It was like, Dr. Dre wants to talk to you. And in my mind, like it's kind of weird. Of all the hip hop luminaries I've never met before. Technically, I met Dr. Dre once. Dr. Dre came to like the very first night of the D'Angelo voodoo shows in LA. Yeah. So I met him for half a second. He came back and said what's up to us, but like I never got to chop it up with him or talk to him or any of that stuff. So
your reaction was so hilarious. I said, "Hey man, you got time?" He said, "What? Wait, Dr. Dre?" I like Andre. I'm like, yes,
dude. Like, there's some people that you don't think. I'm still in that. How does this person know I'm alive thing? Like, even when he said the thing about Dilla, and I called YN up, YN Hutchison, co-host of The Pharmacy.
Right.
I was mind blown. Like, yo, Dre knows who Dilla is,
and listen to it quite often, bro.
I mean, dude, that's. I mean, just oftentimes I meet a lot of people that, you know, my life is the thin line between, you know, one half is, oh man, you changed my life, and the other half is, wait, who are you? So it's
yeah.
You just never know what side of the spectrum you fall on. But yeah, man, you introducing me to Dre that day, man. That was a wow moment. That was a wow moment for me.
Hey man, at least I could do.
Thank you, brother Fuzz. I appreciate that, man.
Hey, listen, man. Frequently asked questions. Buzzy and Q. Thank you, Questlove, for your time, bro. Like, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. My pleasure, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.